And I see.
Okay, thank you. Hechsher mavoi beishama yarmim. Now, we know what a mavoi is. A mavoi is closed on three sides. It's a mavoi sasam. Again, we just ask everyone once a week to go ahead and let me see you all. It'd be very nice to see everybody instead of you blacked out. So if anyone, thank you very much. I appreciate you're driving a school bus, whatever. You can stay blacked out, whatever. Anyway, Hechsher mavoi is beishama yarmim lechi v'kaira. You need both. In other words, if I would ask you, you would say lechi or kaira, because you know we paskin like Beis Hillel. Over here, we're saying either one, both lechi and kaira. Beis Hillel, I mean, oy lechi oy kaira, either lechi or kaira. Rabbi Eliezer, I mean, no. There says lechayin, you need two lechis. You need two lechis. The Gemara is going to ask, is that in addition to a kaira or without a kaira? In other words, two lechis with a kaira, without a kaira. So three shittas. According to Beis Shammai, both. According to Beis Hillel, either or. According to Beis Rabbi Eliezer, two lechim, and therefore we're going to have a shayla about whether you need a kaira or not. Mishum Rabbi Yishmael, Talmud Echa with Rabbi Akiva, Leinechlu Beis Shammai Beis Hillel, Talmud Echa. We're going to see that's the famous Rabbi Meir that he said in front of Rabbi Akiva, Leinechlu Beis Shammai Beis Hillel al mavai shu pachas me'arba amas. If the width of the mavai is less than 4 amas, shehu nito ibelechi a kaira. In other words, when does Beis Shammai say you need both? That's if the width is wider than 4 amas. But if it's less than 4 amas, he's in conjunction with Beis Hillel saying you need one or the other. Where's the machlokes? Al rochav me arba amas at esa. If it goes from 4 amas until 10 amas. If it goes from 4 amas until 10 amas. Shebeis Shammai oimrim lechi v'kaira. Then Beis Shammai says both. Ubeis Hillel oimrim oy lechi oy kaira. I was going to ask, what's the difference between the Tanakama and Rabbi Akiva? Because on Rabbi Akiva, al-Zeh ve'al-Zanechilku, they argue in both. They argue whether it's less than 4, they argue up till 10, they argue in both. Okay, so we have 3 shittas. Kiman. Who does this Mishnah go? Now, the Havamina, we're speaking about a Mavoi Mefulish. So this is a Chazara. Outside, guys, I'm not going to use the book too much today. Outside, a Mavoi Mefulish, we said, the only way to matter it is alechi v'kora on one side, and on the other side you need what? Either it's suras ha-pesach, or according to Chananya, you need doors. It's machlokes whether 1 door or 2 doors, but he held you needed doors. So this Mishnah, our Mishnah, which again in the Havamina is speaking about a mavoi mefulish, an open mavoi, is not like Chananya or the Chachamim, because the Chachamim require a suras ha-pesach, and Chananya requires doors, and neither one were mentioned in our Mishnah. So what's the obvious answer? Our Mishnah is not speaking about a Mavi Mefulish. Our Mishnah is speaking about a Mavi Sasam that was closed on 3 sides, that had 3 walls. Kiman, the like Chananya, like Tanakama. Rav Yehuda Hachi Kamar. Hechshem Mavi Sasam, the key word being there Sasam, meaning it's a Mavi that is closed. Ketzad, how do you go ahead, fellas? How do you go ahead and be machshir that Mavoi? Beis Shammai says lechi v'kaira both. Beis Hillel oimrim oy lechi oy kaira either or. Beis Shammai oimrim lechi v'kaira. Remember the kasava Beis Shammai arba mechitzos deraisa, right? Meaning, when you need a lechi v'kaira, it's mashma. You need to be slicing that 4th side more. You have to close it down more. So in other words, to be a rishus hayachid deraisa, you need 4. Then he requires the lechi v'kaira to go ahead and fill in that 4th side. He must hold that deraisa, you need 4 walls. The Abra Mechitzas deraisa, loy lizroik, mishalasu, loy lizroik, mishalasu the mechayiv, the taltal adika arba. In other words, you won't be Abra Mechitzas deraisa, loy lizroik, mishalasu the mechayiv. From 3 watt, you can be mechayiv the taltal adika arba. In other words, you can go ahead and carry until there's 4 walls. Beis Hillel says no. Oy lechi al kaira leimi kasav Beis Hillel sholish mechitzas deraisa loy lizroik mishtayim hu mechayiv mechayiv deraisa in 2 tavla adika sholish. Okay, so that we want to say that when Beis Shammai requires more, he wants to say there is more. So the Gemara, going over the Gemara again one more time because I read it wrong. Says the Gemara one more time. Beis Shammai omi lechi v'kaira leimi the kasav Beis Shammai arba mechitzas deraisa. Loy, the answer is no. The answer is no. Again, this is the correct way to read it. Loy, the answer is no. Lizroik, to go ahead, Lizroik, Mishalosh with Mechayev. if you Lizroik always means that you're throwing from a Rishus Rabim into a Rishus Hayachid. We know that by now from the second Shabbos. And Chayev means Yichayev Achatas. So in the Havamina fellas, since you need a Lechi V'Koira, so therefore it's 4 walls. And the Gemara says no, it rejects that. 3 walls, it's a Rishus Hayachid de Oraisa. And therefore, if you throw in it, you will be what? You will be Chayev. You will be Chayev from Rishus Harabim. Letaltel, however, to carry in there, you only permitted to carry ad the Ika Arba until there are 4 walls. Beis Hillel, I mean, no. Oy lechi al kaira. He holds lema kasava Beis Hillel shalish mechitzas deraisa. Because again, when you're putting a lechi al kaira, obviously you're not doing too much to the 4th wall, so all 3 must be what enough. There's more light. Lizroik mishtayim hu demechayev. Lizroik you be chayev 2. In other words, you be chayev even 2 walls. You be chayev. Now, really, the Rishonim speak out over here. This is the Shittas Rabbi Yehuda that we've met. Rabbi Yehuda says you have 2 houses on 2 sides of the Rishus Harabim. You can go ahead and put a koiro lechi and make a. Then you can go ahead and carry in between them. This is a Shittas Yachid. All it's coming to do now is be doicha the teretz that you get. You want to say he holds 3? No, he can even hold 2. The tatal adika shalish, but to carry adika shalish until this 3. Rabbi Eliezer Rabbi Eliezer needs what? 2 lechis. The question is, what about a koira as well? Rabbi Eliezer lechayim v'koira kamar. Rabbi Eliezer says 2 lechis and a koira. Dilma lechayim b'lay koira kamar. Or maybe he said 2 lechis without a koira. Good. So again, Beis Shammai both. Beis Hillel either or. Rabbi Eliezer 2 lechis. 2 lechis with what? With a koira or without a koira. Tashma Ma'aseh Rabbi Eliezer shaholach etzel Rabbi Yossi ben Preda Talmidai. Rabbi Eliezer ben Hurkinis went to Rabbi Yossi ben Preda his Talmud Oivalin, to a town called Oivalin. Umatza sheyoshev b'mavli, and he found himself sitting in a mavli. He was sitting, listen, people sat in mavlis. She'en le'el lechi. It was Shabbos, and there was only 1 lechi. And this is Rabbi Eliezer holds you need 2. Amaloi, bini, my son, asa lechi acher. You got to make another one. Again, and he's his Talmidai. So Amaloi said Rabbi Yossi ben Preda to Rabbi Eliezer, do I have to go ahead and close down this whole open 4th side? Again, the reason for a lechi is to not go ahead and mix it up with Rishus Harabim, or not to carry it to Rishus Harabim. So how far do I have to go to make sure that doesn't happen? Amalei, so he told him, Rabbi Eliezer told him, Yistain, go ahead and close it up. Uma bekach, and that's the big spritz. So therefore, we're going to go ahead and analyze that statement and hopefully get the answer to our question whether you need a koira into the addition of the 2 lechis. Now, the Brisa continues. Amar Rav Shimon Gamliel, Le'nechulku Beis Shammai Beis Hillel al mavoi shu pachas me'arba amis. Ruthie?
He's in the basement.
Share.
Le'nechlu Beis Shammai Beis Hillel al mavoi shu pachas me'arba amis she'enet tzorech klum. Le'nechlu Beis Shammai Beis Hillel al mavoi shu pachas me'arba amis she'enet tzorech klum. Al man nechelku, where are they arguing? Al rochav me'arba amis bi'ad eser. They're arguing what? From 4 amis and above. So Rav Shmuel says 4 amis in between, you don't need anything. The machlokes is above. Now, this is neither here nor there regarding our question. This is just an addition, and we'll analyze this separately. But getting back to what we just said previously, right? Says Gemara, Ketani miyas, nonetheless we learned previously, you're going to tell me that he meant that you need all 3, 2 lechis and 1 koira. Therefore, Rabbi Yossi ben Preda said, do I have to close down the whole way? I mean, 1 lechi and 1 koira should be enough. Why do I need 2 and a koira? He just said 2 lechis without a koira. What kind of stima is that? We all spoke out. Now, it would seem to be that a Korah, using the concept of Pi Tikra Yorev Sotza, is more of mechitza perhaps than what? Than a lechi. So l'chayra, if there's only lechis, l'chayra, why would that be considered stima? So let's be Posher Shaila from Rabbi Yossi's Ben Preda's reply to Rabbi Eliezer that in fact you would need a kaira with the two lechis. Says no, you have no raya. My l'sasmai and hachi kaman. Do I have to go ahead and be soisimit? Do I have to go ahead and be soisimit with what? With lechis, right? Do I have to go ahead and be soisimit with lechaim? In other words, l'chayra, maybe he did only need l'chaim, and he just said maybe just one, but not that you needed a kaira. You have no raya. Maybe what you don't need what a kaira. Okay. Amamar, going back over to Brisa. So we weren't pushing the Shaila, guys. Now the last part of the Brisa, so Rabbi Shimon Gamliel said there's no machlokes if it's 4 amis and in. There's no machlokes. So Amamar Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, like nechlu beishame besilol al mavoi shepachas me'arba amis sheinu tzarach klum. Fred Gemara, v'anantinan mishum Rabbi Yishmael Amar Talmud Echad l'fnei Rabbi Akiva, like our Mishnah, like nechlu Rabbi Shame besilol ad mavoi shepachas me'arba amis shu niter. So how can you tell me that you don't need anything? Our Mishnah says you need one or the other. Going back over the Mishnah, guys. We learned Pashup Pshat across the board. Beishamai says both. Beisil says either or. Came along a Talmud of a Talmud and said in front of Rabbi Akiva that he heard from Rabbi Yishmael that if it's less than 4, even Beishamai is moided that you need something. Comes along Rav Shimon Gamliel and says less than 4, you don't need anything. So we have a steer now between our Brisa and Rav Shimon Gamliel, and our Mishnah which says less than 4, you need. Beishamai would be moided one or the other, but the Brisa says you don't need anything. That's the problem. So Amar Rav Ashi Hachi Kamano says Rav Ashi, here's Pshat in the Brisa. When Rav Shimon Gamliel said Ein Tzarach Klum, Ein Tzarach Lechi V'Koyra Ki Beishamai, V'Lo L'Chayin Kreb Eliezer, Elo Oy Lechi Koyra Ki Beis Hillel. In other words, you only need one or the other. So we're tweaking the words Ein Tzarach Klum, meaning Ein Tzarach the Chumra of Beishamai both. Ain't it tzarech the chumrah of Rabbi Eliezer 2 lechis? But what do you need? Oy lechi or kaira like Rabbi, like Beis Hillel, which in fact is that's sticking out over there, right from there, like that, and either Beis Shammai like Beis Hillel, that's what you need. So therefore, the Brisa now stims with our Mishnah. So again, over 4 amas between 4 and 10, machloikis. Above 10, it's not going to help because we said, what? You need a Tzuras Pesach because more than 10 is considered a Pirza. It's not considered a Pesach. Less than 4, we have 2 opinions, not necessarily that we agree with, an opinion of Shimon Gamliel and a certain Talmud of Rabbi Yishmael who said in front of Rabbi Akiva a chilik between more than 4 and less than 4 according to Beis Shammai. More than 4, less than 10, both. Less than 4, agreement with Beis Hillel, either Koira or Lechi. We're good? Guys, we're good? Everyone's good. Nice Gemara. Nothing, everything's good. Okay. Vikama, and how much, right? Vikama, how much? Amar Rav Achloi, V'itema Rav Yechiel, Ad Arba, up until 4 Tfachim. Up until what? Until 4 Tfachim. Right. Rashi from the top. Rashi 2 lines down. The kamiyeh pachas roich by me arba amos v'yeit tzarich tikkun. How much does it have to be less? The width of 4 amos that it should need a tikkun. We said less than 4 amos, right? That it needs a tikkun. So Rabbi Achloi says ad arba up until 4 tfachim. In other words, once you get past 4 tfachim, you won't need any tikkun. But up until 4 tfachim, less than 4 amos, you need a tikkun. Amrav Sheshes, Amrav Yomi, Barabba, Amarav, Moidu Chachamim, Rebbe Eliezer, the Moidu Pasi Chatzer. Okay, so now we're getting into a whole different ball of wax. Until now, guys, we've been discussing a mavoi, how to go ahead and be attacking a mavoi. Let's go back in time. Take a look at me, and you're going to remember this picture well. We got a Chatzah Katana that's pirates to a Chatzah Gedoyla. That was a very, very difficult sugya that I spoke about again and again and again. And I'll speak it again. I'll speak it again. Okay. You have with Shabbos, you had a Chatzah Katana the wall broke down, and now it's going into a Chatzah Gedolah. The halacha was, in the Chatzah Katana you cannot carry, in the Chatzah Gedolah you could carry. Good? The Chatzah Katana can't carry because it's Poritz b'Maloo, it's open up in its width to a place that's Asr. Why is the Chatzah Gedolah Asr? Because they didn't make an Erev. The wall broke down on Shabbos. So that's such an important Nakuda that for some reason gets lost in Eruvin. The reason, when that Chatzah Katana opens to the Chatzah Gedolah, the reason you can't carry there is because it's open to a Makama Asr. So what's the Makama Asr? The Chatzah Gedolah that you didn't make an Erev with. Why is the Chatzah Gedolah not Asr on the Chatzah Katana? Because it had two side posts. Those two side posts made it that the Chatzah Katana was the Pesach to the Chatzah Gedolah. That was the Sugya. So now, let's take that Chatzah Gedolah and open it up to a Rishus Harabim. L'chayr, you'd have the same problem. It's opened up to a place that's Asr to carry. So therefore, you need some type of tikkun in the Chatzar. You need some type of tikkun in the Chatzar. The question is, what is that tikkun? Okay? And we're going to go ahead and parallel that with the Chatzar of a Mavoi. So right now we're discussing the tikkun of a Chatzar. Now most of the time in Rishus HaYachid it's never a problem because the Rishus HaYachid it's opened up to a Mavoi. Remember, guys, house, Chatzar, Mavoi, Rishus Harabim, right? Usually a Chatzar is not open up to Rishus Harabim. The problem is only in this case when it opens up to Rishus Harabim. Now, in fact, I don't have a terrace. There's a kasha here that's bothering me. I don't have a terrace. You remember we had the case where the Chatzar, the Mavoi opened up into the Rachba that opened up into the Rishus Harabim and it didn't need any tikkun? We said, you had a Mavoi, it opened up into a Rachba or a back lot. There was no person living there. And then that was opening up to a Rishus Harabim. We didn't need a tikkun on that. I don't know why. But again, that's a question that I'll have to resolve. But anyway, let's discuss this. So we're discussing the opening to a chatzah. Okay, says the Gemara. Amar Rav Sheshes, Rav Yomi bar Abba, Amar Rav Moed Chacham Rav Eliezer b'pasi chatzah. The Chachamim who say you only need one lechi is moda to Rav Eliezer by pasi chatzah that you need two. Let's see what pasi chatzah are. Let's see Rashi, guys. Go up the second thin line. Pasi chatzah. Im nifitza lemakama asula sricha shiur mishnei tzidera. If it's opened up to a place that is asur to Rishus Harabim, you would need two. You would need two. We had the case of the two walls over there. You have that book. Give me the top book there.
Which picture? What page?
Picture 20, page 20, picture 119. Okay, that's the classic. There you go. You have a chutzner. Okay. That's the classic picture. So you have two pasim over there. So the Chacham will say by Mavui, just one. By chutzner, they'll agree with Rebbe Eliezer, you need two. They'll need two. Rav Nachman Amar halach Rebbe Eliezer. The halach is like Rebbe Eliezer. The pasi chatzah that you need two. Amar Rav Nachman by Yitzchak man moedim. Now you said that the Chachamim are moeda, and then you didn't tell me who. And then you said the halach is like Rebbe Eliezer. Who's arguing on him? If the Chachamim are moeda to Rebbe Eliezer, who's arguing that you only need one? Guys, it's very funny. You just tell me moeda Chachamim. We don't say who they are. Then you say the halacha is like Rebbe Eliezer, but you don't tell us if anyone argues on Rebbe Eliezer. If the Chacham moed to Rebbe Eliezer, again, Amach like Rebbe Eliezer, Beis Shammai, Beis Hillel is by a mavoi. This is by a chutzner. We didn't have any other opinion by chutzner that you don't need two. So what do you mean the halacha is like Rebbe Eliezer? No one disagreed with Rebbe Eliezer, right? Says the Gemara, very geschmack. Amar Rav Nachman Yitzchak man moedim is Rebbe. Rebbe's moeda. Rebbe, guys, Rebbe met Rebbe earlier. He's the one who said you need two side posts. Halacha mechal de pligi. Man Poligaleha, who argues, Rabbanon, the Rabbanon, they say you only need one. Where do you see that, Titania? Chatzar niteres b'pas echad. The chatzar is mutter al yedei, one pass. That's it, guys. Very openly, not like Rebbe Eliezer says you need two. So therefore, that's the one who argues. Rebbe Yomi b'shnei pasim. Rabbi Asi, Rabbi Yochanan. Okay, so, and Rebbe says shnei pasim. Rabbi Asi. Now we're gonna have machlokes what Rabbi Yochanan holds. The Gemara is gonna bring in different shitas of different Amoraim. The Gemara is gonna bring in different shitas of different Amoraim. Okay, says the Gemara. Rav Asi came from Eretz Yisrael. Rabbi Yochanan. Chatzah tzricha shnei pasim. A chatzah needs to pasim like Rebbe Eliezer. Amalei Reb Zera le Reb Asi. Me Rabbi Yochanan hachi. So we're gonna have machlokes Amoraim. Rabbi Yochanan says. Does he really say you need two? For atu the Amin Mishmeid Rabbi Yochanan pasi chatzah tzrichim sheyu behem dalid. They have to be 4 dalid. So now, if the pasim has to be dalid, I'm going to prove to you that it's on one side. Are you having trouble seeing me now? Is it bad? You see me okay? Okay, fine.
It's not Aspaklaya Hamira.
It's not.
Not. It's okay. You can't help it. It's
Yeah,
light.
you're getting a reflection on your screen from the backlight.
So if I would turn one way, it would be better?
No, I can see you.
Wipe the camera. Just wipe the lens of the camera.
Wipe the lens of the camera?
It's fine. It's good. It's good.
If you close the shades, would that be better?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Close the
Yeah,
shade.
let's say, Steve, it's always better.
Kenny, you also adjust yourself something. You don't look good. You don't look good, Kenny.
Everyone on that side of the Zoom, go to the other side of the Zoom.
Benji, you in your bungalow?
Are you in deepest, darkest Africa for Africa?
What happened? I unmuted for a second. What happened, guys? I breathed.
Yep. I think Ari's landing a plane. Doesn't it look like it?
I said it was Benji's fault.
I think it's Ellie
Right,
Alder's fault.
Morocco, are you?
Ellie Alton, Toronto.
Hi.
Wrap the territory.
Yes, I know.
It's not Penny's fault, right? It's not Penny's fault.
Okay, you're all muted. Okay, so now we have a question, guys. Let's set it up. We have the halacha like Rabbi Eliezer that you need for a chutzner you need 2 boards. A pas and a lechi is the same thing, but a lechi is to a mavui, a pas is to a chutzner. So the terms are really the same. You're telling me like Rabbi Eliezer by a chutzner, everyone holds like that. You came and said that Rabbi Yochanan holds like that. That's what Rav Asi said. Comes along Reb Zera and to show that Rabbi Yochanan says no, even one is good. What did he say? First wide line, right? The pasi chatzah tzrichim sheyei behem dalid. You need 4 tfachim in the pasi chatzah. The v'chitemo, you're going to say arba'a mikan v'arba'a mikan, 4 on both sides, but you need 2. Okay. Tani Rav Ada Rav Dimi Kamed Rav Chanina Vimila Kamed Rav Chanina Bar Papa Kitana Besa Gedoyla Biachas Esrei. Okay, going back to our chutzner, guys. Remember? Let's go back. Look at me. Well, you can look at picture 69. I think that's the picture, right? I'm gonna have to show them the picture. I have it on the screen. No, I don't have it. I'm not gonna be able to see it. What does the picture show you, guys? That's the chutzner katana going to chutzner gedoyla, correct? Yes. That picture 69. Now.
Could Rabbi just put it up quickly on the screen? Or
yes.
hold it up? Or
yes, I definitely will. I can't do it quickly, but I will put it up on the screen.
It's on WhatsApp already.
He's trying to drive with one hand. You got to give him a break, Steve.
What's he doing with the other hand? No, never mind.
Can we talk to Aryeh now during this time?
Okay, this is a picture of the month. You got it? Here it is. Here's the picture of the month. We said that this Chatzah Katana is 10 amis, and this is 11 amis. So this was 1 amma more. An amma is 6 tfachim. Now the whole, Rabbi Yochanan is the one who said this. An amma is always, you want the amma to get 3 tfachim on this side and 3 tfachim on that side. But if you're telling me you only need 1, why would he say that? This creates, the whole 11-10 was to create 3 tfachim here and 3 tfachim there. Then we had the Shaila about Lavud, and it's extended. Then we had the whole Torah over here. But that was the point. So therefore, he's asking a Gavaldic Kasha. Why is this Kasha, guys? If he needed one side, why did Rabbi Yochanan have to set side that Mishnah that way? To create the 2 walls, right? Okay, says the Gemara inside. The Chitema, what are you going to say? You're going to say one-sided, first wide line. The Chitema, Arba Mikan, Rabba Mikan, Vatani Ravada Bravimi, Kamed Rav Chanina, Imila Kamed Rav Chanina, Bar Papa, Katana, Be'esa, Ugedoyla Ba'achas Esrei. So therefore, obviously, it was to create 2 sides. And it says the Gemara, he's Solik. Reb Zera Mimei, when Zera came up from the sea, Parsha, he explained, the Ruach Achas, if you put it on one side, the Arba, then you need 4 tfachim. Mishtei Ruchais, if you go ahead and put 2, then Mashahu. So on one side, in other words, he doesn't say like Rebbe Eliezer. He tackle holes like the Rabbanan. If you do one side, then you need 4 tfachim. If you do 2 sides, it's a Mashahu. Question then, the picture I just showed you. He sets down 1 amma, which was 3 tfachim, not what? Not Mashahu. Right? Mashahu. Either Tani Rav Ada Ravimi, the picture we just saw, which is 3 tfachim, not a Mashahu. Says Rebbe, that's Rebbe, and he holds like the Rabbanan, the Sabbalah Rebbe Yossi. Rebbe holds that the minimal is 3 tfachim, and Rebbe Yochanan holds like the Chachonim who disagree with Rebbe Yossi, that a lechi can be a Mashahu. It doesn't have to be what? 3 tfachim. So what have we seen so far? We saw the halacha of Mavoi. That's a machloikis Tanoim, whether you need both Rabbi Shammai, either or Beis Hillel, 2 lechis according to Rabbi Eliezer. And now we're seeing a machlokis also by pasei chatzar, by the boards of a chatzar. Rabbi Eliezer requires 2 lechim, and Rabbi Yochanan, according to Rabbi Yochanan, you'd only require 1. And that one has to be what? 4 tfachim. If, however, you use 2, it can be Ramashu. Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda, Shmuel. Now we're getting to Shmuel. What does Shmuel hold about pasei chatzar? Chatzar, he tells us with pasei echad, one pass, not like Rabbi Eliezer. So Amalei Abai Rabbi Yosef, Miyam Shmuel Hachi, Amalei Shmuel Rav Chanina Bar Shila, Atlei Seven Uvda Ella Oiberoiv Doifin. You should either go ahead, Roiv on the open side, it's walled off, Oiber Shnei Pasim, or 2 Pasim. In other words, let's say you have a chutzah, guys, that's more than 10, that's opened up. Now, let's say it's 12. So you got an option. You could either put 6 1/4 a board to go after Roiv, or you can put on both sides. So you see Shmuel holds you need both. So Amalei Vanolo Yadana says Rabbi Yosef, I don't know what Shmuel holds, but the Uvda have a Dura de Ravusa. There was an incident that happened by the village of shepherds. We had this earlier. And Lashon Yam Anichnas L'Chatzar. You had the sea going into the Chatzar. The guy lived in Seagate. He had a mavoi open up, and the sea started coming in. We also came to Yehuda. They want to know, can they use the water? The loyat tzricha el pas echad. He said, if there's 1 pass, it's okay. So therefore, I said Shmuel says you need 1. If you heard differently, you heard differently. So Amalei, so he told him, Lashon Yam Karmit. You're saying the reason why you can put 1 pass is because of the water. In general, there's a kula that they go ahead and hold by water. By water, there's a tremendous kula that they hold. So that kula that they hold by water is why they allowed 1 pass. But normally you would need what? 2. Normally you would need 2. Now I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this, but I'm gonna show you an example of a kula by pass. A kula by water, yes. I keep on saying pass, water. Kula by mayim. It's like old friends, these pictures, huh? By the time Eruvin's over, they'll be like pictures of like your kids. Yeah, take a look. Picture 160. Picture 160. This is called a mechitza taluya. It's hanging. It's suspended. It's 10 tefachim, which is the wall of a mechitza. Will allow you to go ahead and draw water through that. Normally, a mechitza taluya is not considered a good mechitza, but because of the kula of water, since people need water, we'll let you do that. Okay. So therefore, just like the kula of water applied to the mechitza taluya, fellas, the kula of water will apply that you only need one pass by the chutzner. Only one pass by the chutzner. Kidiboy minei rav kavle mei rav. Mechitza taluya. We just saw this. Mechitza taluya. Ma'usha tate b'churva amalei. Ein mechitza taluya b'teteres ela b'mayim. Why? Kalu shekil chum b'mayim. We call Malcolm Kasha. It's Shver. The Shmuel hold 201. Kiyasra papa rafuna b'reidu Yeshua. In other words, Rabbi Yosef just said it simply. He said he heard one thing and they reported, Rabbi reported something else. So what? It's Shver Shmuel 201. What's the din? So now, Ki Asra Papa Rafuna B'Reidu V'Shua Mibei Rav Pirshua Miruach Achas Ba'arba Mishnei Ruchais Mashahu. Seemingly the exact same psak as Rabbi Yochanan. If it's going to be on one side, fellas, it's going to be what? Arba Tfachim, a pass of Arba Tfachim. Two sides, a pass of Mashahu. Lakan or Mashahu Lakan. Amra Papa Ikoshli. Ravish a Kasha and Shmuel. Here's the Kasha. Domle Shmuel Rav Chanina Bar Shila. Atlay 7 Uvda Elo Oiber Roiv Doifin. Either the majority of the open space, Oiber Shtei Pasim. Now, Lomali Roiv Doifin. Why do you need Roiv Doifin? The Pars Abar Sagi. In other words, we said, fellas, guys, the area, let's say, is 12. So what are you going to have to do? You have to put a pass of 6 1/3, right? We said earlier, if you're going to do one side, 4 tefachim does the job. If it's 4 tefachim, it does the job. So why do you need more than that? Chitema my roiv doifin. The doifin shiva is speaking about what? A doifin that's 7. So therefore, it is a 4 tefachim. Is the roiv? Says the word about arba havile roiv doifin. Lamali arba. Why should you need arba? The shloishu mashu sagi. The ha'amar Rav Achloi v'tem Rav Yechiel ad arba. We said up until 4 tefachim, you need you need a lechia kaira. Less than 4 tefachim, you won't. So let's say you have an area that's 7. Area that's 7. If you put in a 3 1/3, it's going to be less than 4. If it's less than 4, you don't need anything in the first place. So why do you have to put such a big pass? Why do you have to put roiv doifin? I could have gone ahead. In other words, I could have made it legally that it wouldn't need a lechi b'kaira. Now at 7, it needs a lechi b'kaira. So you're saying put a majority of 4. Guess what? Take a board, make it 3 1/3. Now the open space is less than 4. Less than 4, everyone says you don't need it. You don't need anything. So it says the Gemara, Iba Yisema, Kam b'chatza, Kam b'mavoy. B'chatza, you don't have the heter of 4 tefachim. The 4 tefachim is machlokes b'mavoy, 1 teretz. So that Rav Achloi was speaking about a mavoy. We're speaking about a chatzer. Iba Yisema, the Rav Achloi gufa tanoihi. It's machlokes tanoim whether could be Kenzain that Beisham Beis Hillel, according to Hadana, even below 4 tefachim would require, and he's going according to one opinion. So by saying Roiv Doifin, we're covering all bases, right? Very good. Tanabana. Loshin Yama Nichlas L'Chatzer, you have a water that goes into a Chatzer, Ein Mamalin Yemena B'Shabbos, you can't fill it up on Shabbos. You can't go ahead and fill it up on Shabbos. Ela Im Ken Yesh Le Mechitza Gavoy Yitfachim, if you have a Mechitza that's Yitfachim. The Medama Murim, Sher Pirtzasa V'Yaisam Asara. That the pirza in the wall of the chatzah was more than 10. Aval asara ain't tzarich klum. If it's 10, you don't need anything. Frag Gemara now. Memalahu delay memalina and hatuli metalina. 1 second. What's the status of this chatzah? If I can carry in the chatzah, I should be able to carry the water. And if I can't carry in the chatzah, then of course I can't carry the water. So what's the chilik between the water and the chatzah? Says the Gemara, I shouldn't be able to carry because obviously the chutz is open up to a sea. Guys, a sea has been of a caramelist. A caramelist, again, going back to the thing. Why is the chutz katana picked to 69 asa? Of course, it's open up to a place where what? Where there's no erev. So there's no the same thing. You're open up to a place that you can't carry to. The caramelist. So why in the world, if I can't carry, of course I can't carry the water. So the Hachmayaskin the Islay Gidude. It's not a pirza. They have walls. So it's considered that it's nifitz to a place that what is closed. There's walls. The walls, Rashi says, are covered up by the water, but there are walls. Since there are walls, it's not considered nifitz, and therefore what you're able to go ahead what and fill. But you could carry. You can't. So in Klum, and we said that if it's more than 10, you can't fill, but less than 10 you could. Okay. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Mavi Shalei Nishtatu Bai, a Mavi that you didn't make a shita from voice. Again, a shita from voice is the same thing as Erev Chatzeres. And whenever Chatzeres is to a Chatzah, shita from voice is to a Mavi. That all the people of all the houses and all the Chatzerim that are open to this Mavi have to make a shita. So now, Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Mavi Shalei Nishtatu Bai, Echshira Belechi, now you machshir with a lechi, Hazarik l'Soichai, Chayev. If you throw inside that you throw inside that mavoi, it's considered Rishus Harabim, and you be chayev a chatas. If you throw from Rishus Harabim into it, it's considered a full-fledged Rishus Hayachid, and therefore you be chayev v'yitzah. Tachshir b'kaira, however, if you use a kaira, then asar the toichi pater. It's not a full-fledged Rishus Hayachid. That's the statement of Yehuna. A chilik between a lechi and a kaira. By a lechi, it's considered what? A full-fledged Rishus Harabim, kaira not. Fred Gemara Maskalar of Sheshes. The reason why the kaira doesn't make it into Rishus Hayachid is because there's no shituf. Guys, physically you're looking at this alley, right? You have a kaira, and we've added the kaira without shituf, you putter. Mashma with shituf, you're chayev. So you take a box of matzah, you take a roll, you take a face, you put it in a communal mavoi, right? And all of a sudden, it physically changes the mavoi. That doesn't make any sense. If the kaira is the physical material to affect the mavoi, it should affect regardless of the kikar, the piece of bread or not. So the Gemara asks right away, this kikar can't make an Rishus Hayachid, Rishus Harabim. It's the physical mitzias, what it looks like. Whether it's a kaira, and we'll view it as mechitza, whether there is a lechi, and we'll say there's a heker, that might go ahead and affect the fourth side. But going ahead and saying shituf, that doesn't make any sense. It says the Gemara of Atanya Chatzeres shel Rabin umuvois shenim fulashin Chatzeres of a Rabin and muvois that are not foolish, they're closed. Bein irvu, bein lo irvu, hazar l'toichin chayev. So you see what? You'll be chayev because it's a Rishus Hayachid. If it's sussum with 3 walls, guys, it's a Rishus Hayachid. Whether you made an Erev or you didn't make an Erev. So obviously the statement of Rabbi Yehuda above needs clarity. Because from the statement, it's mashma only because there's no shituf are you partner. With a shituf, you be chayev. But the over here it says there's no difference. And this is the statement of Tanoim. Let's restate and redo the statement of Rabbi Yehuda. If you want to learn, here's the way you have to learn. Rabbi Yehuda, a mavi that's not roy to make a shituf. You know why? Of course, it's open on both ends. It's a mavi mefulish, and a shituf would help. If you go ahead and you machshir with the lechi, then if you throw inside, you be chayev. If you machshir with a kaira, then you'll be pata. So you see, the lechi seems to be more of a stima than a kaira. Alma kasava lechi mishum mechitza, the kaira mishum heka. You can tell me now it's the opposite that we've been saying until now. That the lechi works out some mechitza, and therefore it's a rishus hayachid, and therefore if you throw in from rishus harabim yachayev, whereas the kaira works mishum heker. Therefore, it's not a mechitza, and therefore it's a not full-fledged rishus hayachid, and therefore if you throw from the outside in, you're potter. That's pashut pshat. That's pashut pshat. V'chein amar Rabba lechi mishum mechitza, v'kaira mishum heka. The Rabba amar echad zeh v'echad zeh mishum heka. They're both mishum heka, right? And therefore, guys, if they're both mishum heka, what? If you would throw in even with the lechi, you'd be potter. Let's go one more time. Rabbi Yehuda said a statement about throwing something into from the Rishus Rabbim into a mavoi. He wanted to say that if it's a lechi, then you're going to be chayiv because the lechi is going to work as mechitza. If it's a koira, you're going to be potter. Rabbi says it doesn't make a difference. Whether it's a koira or a lechi, it works as heker. If it's working as heker, it's not a Rishus Hayachid. If it's not a Rishus Hayachid, you're going to be potter. So echad zeh, whether it's a lechi, echad zeh, whether it's a koira, you will be potter because it doesn't create a full-fledged Rishus Hayachid. Eser Rabbi Yaakov bar Abba Rava, who says neither one is Rishus Hayachid. Hazarik mavoi yesh. Someone goes ahead, guys. Hazarik lemavoi. You're throwing into a mavoi. Yesh lechi chayev. Ain't lechi pata. You said you're pata by both. And from Marachi come up. Ain't it sarach elo lechi. It doesn't mean it doesn't. If it's a mavui that only needs a lechi, meaning it's a mavui sasum, right? Hazarik tochachayev. Lechi v'davar acher. If it needs a lechi and something else to matter it, meaning it's a mavui mefulish that you're going to need a lechi and it's suras pesach, then hazarik l'tarch is potter. Again, so again, he's retweaking the brisa, right? What lechi chayev means, if it's a mavui that needs a lechi because it's closed on three sides, you be chayev. If it's a mavui that needs a lechi and something else because it's open and that something else is suras pesach, then you be potter. Again, Rabbi Yehuda said two sides of Rishus Rabbim. You can go ahead one and make an Eruv. Yes, okay, no, Rabbi Yehuda. Misheyesh shnei batim shnei tzidim Rishus Rabbim. Got two houses on two sides of Rishus Rabbim. Oiselech mikan v'lech mikan. Oikar mikan v'kar mikan. V'noisem be'emtza. You can carry one in the middle. Amuloi ema arvim Rishus Rabbim bekach. You can't make an Rishus Rabbim bekach. Right. So what do you see? You see the lechi is a mechitza. You see the lechi is a mechitza. So the ema arvim. In other words, you're making an Eruv. Says no, Hasam Ksav Rabbi Yehuda Shnei Mechitzas Deraisa. No, it's not the lechi that's making it a mechitza. Rava, you wanted to say the lechi is only heka. Here we see that what you can't make it because it makes a mechitza. The answer is Rabbi Yehuda holds that two houses are a mechitza. Rabbi Yehuda's guy who says you need two walls, guys. Rabbi Yehuda is the one man the almost says you need two walls. We began to share today with 3 walls, and then we wanted to say that no, really, Beis Hillel says only 2 walls. That's the shita of Rabbi Yehuda, the only 2 walls, and therefore it's a Rishus Hayachid. It's not the lechi that's making it to Rishus Hayachid. I'm Rabbi Yehuda Marav. Mavi she'archu kerachbay. A mavi that is square. The archa is the rachbay. Ain't a nita belechi mashu. It's not going to be nita belechi mashu. It's not considered a. It's not a mavoi. It's a chatzar. Difference. You need 4 tefachim. One thing that comes out again from our share today. The difference between the lechi of a mavoi and the pas of a chatzar is if you do 2 sides in the chatzar, then it's a mashahu. If you do 1 side, it's 4 tefachim. A lechi, 1 lechi is a mashahu by a mavoi. Big difference. So again, the dimensions of the alleyway will go ahead and tell us what the halacha of the mavoi is. If it's a square, despite in fact being situated in a mavoi situation, it's considered a chatzar, and then you're going to need a pas of 4. If it's a rectangle, then you'll need a pas a lechi of mashu. Amrav Chia Barashi, Amarav, Mavi Sha'akru Karachbay, square, ain't a need to be kaira tefa. It's not going to be needed with a kaira. The kaira doesn't work. Again, a lechi works by chatzar, it works by mavoi. A kaira only works by mavoi. If you have a mavoi that is square, no kaira is going to work. Amrav Zera Kamak Mechavin Shmaitza the Sabi. The Shmaitza of Sabi, Ravashi, Rav Chia Barashi, and Rav are wonderful. Even the Achay Karachbay, since it's a square, Havalei Chatzar. It has the din of a Chatzar, guys. The Chatzar in the terrace, Belechi V'Kaira, Ela B'Pas. Only a pas, and obviously the pas is 4. Amar Rav Zera, Ikashli HaKashli. This is fair. Lahavi Hai Lechi Kipas Mashahu. V'Nishtari. This Lechi should be like a pas. Right? a lechi can be a pas. So why don't we say that this lechi should be a pas of mashtu and matarit? So the answer is Shtamitzi Hodo Amar Basi Rabbi Yochanan. Pasi Chatzat Tzrichim Sheyibehen Arba. You need 4. That he thought there's no difference between a lechi and a pas. So just like a lechi works with the mashahu, so to a pas should work with mashahu. The answer is no. Amar Rav Nachman that pina the following Messiah. Esa Mavish need to be lechi b'koira. Kol she'achi yesel rachbay. If the length is longer than the width, which is a rectangle. And in addition, it needs houses and chatzerim going into it. Is kol shem ruvas, that it's square. Ruvas in agula loy hachi kamar. If the length is longer than the width, however, if the length and the width are equal, it's a square. And the chatzer is what you need a foot fakim. The kama savish shmol adika pishnayim, you have double the length. Even if the square, the length is a little bit more, you don't need double. Even a little bit more, it would have the din of a mavli that we mutar alachi mashu rather than the square. Then you need what? I wish you all a great Shabbos. We'll see you Bez Hashem tomorrow night.
What time?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.